Welcome to VI.Live, where the CEO dreams it and the COO makes it happen. Here are your hosts, McColl and Ashleigh Laabs. Welcome back to VI.Live, where real growth starts with pivots and pauses. Everything you need to build what will scale. I'm McColl, CEO of WIM Innovation.
And I'm Ashleigh, COO of WIM Innovation, and this is episode 3, Remodel to Scale, Revenue Streams as Structural Glue.
I love it. And if you've seen the first 2 episodes, you will have an idea that we baked up a whole new model, put new tools in place, a new operating model for our internal ops, and also added a secret sauce. What was that secret sauce? We diversified and expanded our revenue streams to help us be prepared for the future.
So as we offer more value with the new streams, we realized that our accountability chart had to change. So the pivot required a definite shift in the way that we were structured from a people standpoint as well.
And I think as we were identifying the revenue streams, there was many stages to each of those revenue streams, which is first we were identifying it, which really sat at the CEO, COO level. Right. Then there was testing to see if our assumptions were right with small proofs of concepts, or in some cases we had to do some paperwork to make new partnerships. But the most important thing is, as we set all those different stages for each revenue stream as we went to build it to launch, is that we needed to have dedicated owners through each of those seats, but also through the functional areas. And that's everything from growth, which we have marketing, sales, and customer experience or customer research, all the way through delivery, which is where the build team and the design and development team sit, to operations, which is accounting, HR, etc. I think taking the concept of how you want to expand all the different revenue sources you have and then matching it to all the different steps to test that to launch really helped to make us sure that we had dedicated owners for each of the steps, and we just didn't add seats. We kind of assigned things responsibly. So I think our takeaway here is introducing diversified revenue streams forces you to structure around them, or truly suffer in the mess where people are wearing multiple hats and trying to help build and develop new things while still supporting the existing things.
Yes, definitely. And for those of you out there, as the owner of the partnerships component, Lori says some paperwork. Let's just be real and say it was a lot of paperwork.
It is. Oh my gosh, right? I mean, who would think to become channel partnerships with some of these software platforms? And then all of the portals that didn't work for partners. Oh my gosh. I think the next thing Ashleigh and I are going to do is have a company that works just with software, like SaaS companies, to help them build out like thoughtful partnership onboarding. Oh my God. So bad. It's so funny.
It's a real thing. The struggle is real.
The struggle is real. And then once you get in a rhythm, I love it that then your account leader's like, sorry, Ashleigh and Lori, I'm leaving.
The struggle is real. So
the struggle is real.
All right. So as we continue on, just had to put that in there. So for those of you partner people, get ready. As we have built all of these pieces out, we've used a number of EOS tools to help us get there. And for those of you who haven't had a chance to tune into our other podcasts or segments, check it out so you can understand the backstory around EOS, which is the Entrepreneurial Operating System. But we use the VTO, which is our quarterly strategic plan and annual plan. And we set up scorecard metrics to monitor across the team on a weekly, monthly basis. And we looked at our structure and figured out how that all fit into the model that we had come up with. So the true catalyst, though, is not just our strategic tools. It's the need to design, test, prototype real tangible revenue streams. And that's what we're doing right now. And
I love it because part of what makes the VTO, or at least the strategic quarterly plan a little bit different for EOS is that it really has you each quarter focus on the current issues you have. Is one of the new revenue streams running behind? Is overall revenue projections behind? Do you have a mismatch in the skills and the people that you have? Is there a gap there? Are there other things that you're exploring? And then allows you to build very clear, achievable goals within a quarter versus having these long strategic plans that aren't clear. Like we have literally checked off every single thing each quarter, which I love. And so I think what the most important thing was just making sure that this structure matched our accountability chart and continued to be dynamic each quarter as we moved, some of these new products and features we were developing through each of the stages to revenue.
Yeah, totally agree. So, for example, really quick, just to kind of shout out what Lori's talking about here, a goal or rock for the quarter could be to have one net new customer in one of those partner software channels that we're talking about. So very clear, very specific. If you're familiar with SMART goals, all of these definitely align with those components in terms of being smart. So definitely looking at those pieces and knowing, did we achieve it? Did we not achieve it? There's no muddy water there.
From our traditional areas where we generated a lot of like strategy and software development revenue to now having SaaS and partnership revenue to also, a lot of the things that we've been talking about are just the various AI agents we've been developing to support some of our existing clients and how that can turn into software revenue for us on our own AI logo platform called Flowware. And so across all these different areas, we've really been adding to our accountability chart and then moving each of these things through not only just those clear goals, but the outreach, identification, the marketing, all the way through to accounting and our new chart of accounts set up. I think that's been a really interesting learning. I don't want to say that it's learning, but working through all those steps. Me, I like us to move a lot faster than we are, but the reality is you can really only move as fast as, you have capacity and focus, which was our discussion yesterday.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
Absolutely. So I think as we sit around and think through what our takeaway from this section is, the strategy really defines the structure and the structure empowers the strategy. We know at the end of the quarter if we have not hit a very specific goal and can dive deep into the reasons why. But the reasons we have these goals on weekly checkpoints and weekly scorecard metrics is that we don't hopefully get to the end of a quarter and just realize why things are off track, that it's a weekly check-in. Are you on track, off track, and what do you need to get these back on track?
Absolutely. Definitely. So why this? Why are we here? Why are we doing what we're doing? We realized we could be experts, and we were experts in offering these new services because we were solving these problems for ourselves. And we're not just solving them for ourselves, we were having conversations with our customers around these exact same topics. And so it was like, okay, we are passionate about this. We love doing this. We're solving these issues. We know how to do this. Why aren't we focused on this? So this just made very logical sense to go into this direction. And it really meant that our automations and our own workflow, we structured apps in Monday.com, and we have got internal ticketing and fresh service. We're using our tools in a different way, but it's a way that we already knew how to use them.
Yeah, I love that. I've always loved being kind of the true owner of the problem you're solving. If it's a problem for us, we know it inside and out, And I'm even thinking, like, we had a couple great kind of scoping meetings, discovery meetings with a couple new customers in the city. And we were really talking about how some of these new services that you were kind of touching on, Ashley, could really help early stage founders all the way through each of the seed rounds. And so I love that we can now just think about, after we've solved the problem for ourselves, how we can package some of these things for each of the stages. So it's really allowed us to craft new offerings too within these new revenue streams, which I think with where things are going with AI and all the various tools out there and all the, the really, I'd say more flexible SaaS software offerings for more of the agile kind of startup, large scaling companies, that all these things are kind of showing a new way that software is packaged, that AI agent bots can be used, and how all these things can come together to really help teams and companies get out of the chaotic day-to-day and more moving through, I hate to say like more moving on the flow, but moving in flow with the systems and data and information that you need to make decisions every day. I think what we've learned is, as we've explored how we can do it differently, I think you said it best in our last episode, Ashleigh. You were like, the old model of how you look at software and technology services, software subscriptions, support, isn't necessarily working anymore, and that there's really a new model coming out, and we're trying to address the needs of what are market and trends out there, as well as how technology is coming out onto the market in more flexible, open source ways, and then how we can use that to craft totally different and unique offerings that really are getting traction. Talking with our customers, we are starting to get a lot more traction. Mm-hmm. So I think once you've got really clear offerings, like once you've got a vision of what those revenue streams look like, and then start to bifurcate the various offerings that would be available for the various pain points at the various stages of businesses, then I think that's where you really get the traction, or at least get to be testing the traction.
Yeah.
So our takeaway here is validated offerings or new offerings are equal to credibility plus continuous optimization. So, one of the pieces we've been working on a lot is also our authority in this space. How, where is our experience? How are we showcasing that? And how are we showcasing our differentiators in this space too?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right. Well, we hope you enjoyed that little conversation of how we've looked at, a pivot from expanding revenue streams to realigning the team with accountability, and how we are measuring our progress through the pivot. If you are rebuilding, ask what revenue paths are you leaving on the table, and does your structure support them? Because I think in this new world, there's a lot of ways you can monetize community, monetize services, monetize, different products or solutions you've built to solve specific problems.
Yeah, absolutely. So start small, pilot a new stream, adjust your accountability chart, test your delivery of it, and then experience share. Share in the comments how you rebuilt it, and let us know how it went. We're definitely curious, and we'd love to hear your story.